beautiful.
So I'm impressed with you. Look at you.
Hey, y'all. Listen, I am here with my girl. I'm trying to work this thing out. I am super excited. If you know, then you know. Listen. Didn't you go to Crenshaw?
I did.
So if you know, then you know. But she graduated years before me. It's okay. When we met, we were supposed to be.
Absolutely.
We were supposed to.
Ain't no mistakes.
And we've been connected ever since. And that is so funny and hilarious to me. I am grateful. But welcome, you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so honored to sit here with my sis as we continue the movement of life after divorce. You will be surprised by how many stories you can receive and get from the men and the women who have experienced divorce. As I always say, I am not an advocate of divorce, but I am an advocate of healing after divorce. So I want to keep you married, right? Whether you're married or not. So the end goal, because where this all built from was Make It Rise, the LLC, the business. And our mission and our vision is to get us back to doing marriage the way that the word says it should be done. However, there's a whole lot of us that's divorced. And so whether you want to say I do again, or you just want to get to a place where you are happy, healthy, healed, and whole after the experience of divorce, we got you. That's what we're here for. So today I have my sis. I'm sitting here like I'm tripping. I have my sis here, and I'm going to allow her to come on and just introduce yourself, let them know what it is that you do, and then we will go from there.
Hi, y'all. So my name is Carole Hart.
With an E.
With an E on the Carole. Yes. I can't tell you how I have to repeat it. But yes, Carole with an E. Sidebar, not that important, but my mom named me after Carole Lombard. But most of you probably don't even know who she is, and I don't even know why she liked her, but here we are. I taught school for 35 years, and I trained a plethora of teachers around LA, whether it was Dominguez, UCLA, USC. And pandemic came along, and education went to Zoom teaching. The year before that, I started finance, completely reinvented myself. And very quickly, I saw that I could make some real money and still teach. I just changed the curriculum because a real teacher just knows how to transfer information and make it comprehensive. And so now that's what I do. And then I am healing.
I love it. Healing with the ING. Right?
Healing. Oh, yeah, absolutely. The process is, I don't see it ever ending. I don't see how it could because we're constantly evolving and changing.
Absolutely.
And so I'm going to do this part because I don't know. So I got introduced to this whole movement by way of another friend. She said, I want you to come to this conference, Life After Divorce. I said, that sounds interesting. Send me some stuff on it. So we all do. So I did my research. And the thing that sold me was the keynote speaker at the gala, David Burris. Mm-hmm. You talk about a grouping. The next time you hear about David Burris, don't walk, but run to wherever he is. And I went to the gala, but I went to the event first, and the conversation was unlike anything I'd ever experienced. I felt like, oh my God, this is my tribe. These are my people. There were men and women talking about feelings that I thought only I had. And I love learning. Like, that is my love language. If you can teach me and I can learn something, I'm like, suck it up.
Yeah.
And I realized I could do this. I want to be a part of this. Like, my story is a little unique. Not that everybody else's isn't, but I think because there was so much longevity in my marriage, and I think that's why my story is unique with my divorce. And I just know that if the Carole Hart had probably been in my life a few years ago, that it might look a little different now. So as I like to say, I'm here for it.
Love it, love it, love it. So since you said that your story is a little unique because of the longevity, how long were you married?
I was married for 32 years. And I had met my husband when I was really young. We were at high school when we met.
Wow.
So if you think about, and I was an only child, grew up in South Central. I went from living with my parents to getting married. So my entire life, I had always been someone's daughter, mom, or wife.
Wow.
And I lost sight of who I was.
Yeah.
And I didn't know I hadn't.
So the question is, did you ever, before saying I do, did you really know who you were?
No.
So having to learn that, because it's clear that sometimes we will have time in between, leaving home to saying I do.
Yes.
And kind of fiddling with the who am I, get into a marriage and then lose who that person is, and then get out and say, dang, I lost who I was, but I never found who I was. And so for you, being married for so many years, coming out of home and going into, okay, do the wife thing.
Yeah.
You, I'm sure, had to come out, and there had to be a lot of learning.
Oh, Lord Jesus. I say all the time, I'm meeting myself for the first time.
You're loving it too, huh?
I love every single ounce of it. Whether it's, you don't really like cheese like that, or that song isn't what you want, or you don't want to really clean today. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, I feel like a kid seeing things for the first time. Like, if you've ever watched a kid, you're trying to like go from here to there, and the toddler's stopping, and you're like, come on, babe, we gotta go. That's me. I'll be 10 toes down wherever my feet are, and I just want to take in the moment and be present.
Right. I love it.
And that's me getting to know myself.
I love that. And you have children.
I have 2 children. They're 33 and 28.
Okay.
And I'm in business with my 28-year-old, and I have a granddaughter who's 4.
She's so cute. She's so yummy.
She is yummy.
I love it. Well, we're going to just dive right on in.
Let's do it.
Our topic today is that I learned the true definition to submit after divorce. Now, let's be clear. When I first shared that topic with you, I'm thinking from the standpoint of, okay, like once she got divorced and she learned, how to submit to her husband, a little too late, but that's okay because it's good to know, right?
It's good to know.
But then as we began to talk, you shared with me what about that? Like, I learned the true definition to submit after divorce. And what was that about, Carole?
I learned to submit to myself, because when I submit to myself, this gets to be better, which means everything else in my life is going to benefit from that, whether it's professional, how I eat, how I connect with people, what I choose to do or not, how I can like pour into other people. But I had to submit to this person first, because I literally had put her on the back burner. And I'm a true Aquarian. I don't know how many of y'all are into that. I'm not heavily into it, but I know me really well. And when you're an Aquarian or you're Aquarius, making sure everybody else is okay is literally the backbone of who you are. And that can be to a fault. And you don't realize it until you realize that there is nothing left to pour from your cup. And that's not how we're designed. And and I believe that everybody that we love and we want to care for and help wants us to come at our best.
Yeah.
Like, you need me in this interview at my best. I can't come in here half doing it, because you won't get my best. So that means I've got to submit to myself first. And it's not selfish, it's self-full.
Oh, good. Yeah.
And when you become self-full and don't look at it as being selfish, then you're really sitting in your greatness.
Yeah. And as you said, and you can actually give the portion of you that's required from others.
Yes.
At the right level, with the right energy, right?
Yeah.
Because oftentimes we'll force ourselves to be in a space because I committed to it. I told her I was coming, so let me just pull myself together, right? Without pull myself together work first, and then pull myself together for you. Let me pull myself together for me first. I talk about often how dating yourself is so important.
Yes, girl. That's still fun.
Oh, wait, this is kind of like you up.
Yes.
You up.
Listen.
I think it's very important to date yourself. And I have a lot of people that say, how do you go to dinner by yourself? How do you go to lunch? How do you go to a movie by yourself? And I'm thinking, or I say, well, I love me, and my company is amazing to me. And if I know how great my company is to me, when I do sit across the table from a young man or a daddy, and when I do sit across the table from someone's son, I am able to. Gotta be fun. Listen, I am able to share with him my likes, my dislikes, what I want, what I would like to share with him. He don't get everything about me. right? And I messed up in that some time ago where I gave everything because I'm like, I just want to be an open book. And I had to learn that not everyone get every compartment of you.
That's a good point.
Every compartment of you. And I know we say, I don't have anything to hide, and that's great. You don't. But some people don't deserve all areas of you, right? They don't know how to take care of those things. They don't know how to respect those. They don't respect those things, and not by purpose. They just don't know.
Right.
So maybe they lack dating themselves. Maybe they lack self-fullness. Like, so we have to keep all of that into perspective. But I love the fact that you said you learned to submit to you. And given that you said you moved from mom and went straight into I'm grown, pretty much, you know. So how has it been as a single woman that has committed to submitting to yourself?
I like that. That's a tongue twister.
Right.
It's been the best journey of my life next to motherhood. Because, you know, and I think I said before we got off on camera that, you know, I'm meeting myself for the first time. And it's like, if you meet somebody new, you know, in a dating arena, oftentimes you're excited because it's like, ooh. And then sometimes as you peel back the layers, you may realize it's not a real connection, or this just really isn't my person. It doesn't diminish them. It just isn't in alignment with you. So by being able to date myself and get to know myself, I'm dope.
Listen,
I just don't know what
I'm a dope chick. I'm pretty dope here.
Yeah, and it's not conceited. It's just, it's powerful. Like to be able to walk in comfort and confidence, and the two can commingle. And because I'm also, you know, in the season of my life where, you know, I run my own business, I do my own thing, that's important. I can't like intertwine, I can't train other people to be their best and I'm not. So the journey, and it hasn't been easy. There's some moments, true self-exposure. I have sat in my little apartment and I'm sitting on the couch and I say, God, the door is right there. Like, it's just, it's small in space, but it feels so big because it's my space.
Yeah.
And there's some times where that's sad because we know that there's a lot of grief and divorce.
Yes.
A lot.
Yes.
A lot. We could go on like, that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, it is.
And so when those moments when I'm grieving through this new space and, you know, what the grief looks like, I give myself permission to feel it.
Yes, please.
Because it's the only way I can get through it. And I've met some people, you know, even outside of our movement together here, that having the same kind of journey. And that's the one thing I find people are trying to not do.
Yeah.
They're like hiding behind it, whether it's through food, drinking, smoking, sex, gambling, whatever. And I'm like, no, you got to feel that stuff.
Give yourself permission to just feel it, because your feelings are valid.
They're extremely valid. And that was something I didn't get to experience a long time, you know, and it's, you know, I take full ownership over that now, you know, whether I was an amazing daughter. I can say that I was an amazing wife. I was an amazing partner and a great mom for sure. But there was very little time for me. And I told myself that I was spending time with myself if I went to get my hair done, or if I was, you know, I was going to the gym or getting my nails done, but that wasn't quality time. No, like if anything, I was doing that to keep up the presentation.
That's maintenance.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, right. Maintaining the shell, the outer.
And I was so vested in the optics.
Yeah.
Like, how do I present myself as a partner, a wife, and a mom? It's like, I didn't even know what it was that Carole needed or wanted. So yeah, getting to know Carole's been really fun.
Yeah, I'm sure. And so you've been divorced how many years?
A year and a half. It'll be 2 years in October, but the separation 3.5 years. Yeah, my math is right. Yeah.
Okay, so recent.
It's recent.
I don't know why I was under the impression that you had been divorced for like some years.
Probably because when I commit to something, I'm just in, and committed to this movement, I'm just like in. So maybe that's why. I don't know.
That may be it.
That could be it.
Yeah, I'm like, because there's no, I don't see you. And I know that we have our quiet time, and we, like you said, we grieve certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And grief doesn't, once I could do the 7 steps of grieving, I'm done. No, something may sneak up on you. It may be something you smell, something you see, a person that you talk to that's just a reminder of something. And it's like, oh, here we go.
And you said something that I didn't think about until recently. And like, there's a lot of conversations about red flags.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to advance the conversation, talk about green flags.
Let's.
Because when you haven't had some experiences that are very favorable and those green flags come in, I know what to do with it. And so I found myself retreating.
Yeah.
Or even talking myself out of it because, I was in a space of scarcity, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And so when an abundance comes into your life,
yes,
you're just not like, what do I do with that?
Right.
Like, how does that work?
Right.
And so it's a lot of self-talk. Now, one thing that could be my advantage, nothing against y'all that got siblings, but I'm an only child.
Okay.
So being an only child made me very self-sufficient as well. Like I had to.
I can say that.
Yeah. And so that's part of it. But some of the green, I'm having to, I don't even know what it's, I don't know how to call it. I'm not healing. I guess I'm healing towards green flags. Yeah, okay. I like that.
You're healing towards green flags. You're unlearning things that you thought was normal.
That's it. Unlearning.
Yeah, you're unlearning. And that's hard because we oftentimes we function in dysfunction. And we don't know that it was dysfunction until normalcy shows up, and we're kind of like, and we begin to self-sabotage.
Yeah.
Right? We talk ourselves out of things. This is too good to be true. Nah, I'm cool, right? And really, that's what you deserve.
And I'm incorporating that more in my language, saying I deserve this, or I deserve that, or I deserve to experience this. I do.
You do.
I do. I've had, we all got our trauma. We know that. Right. And certain trauma runs deeper than others. For sure. But yeah, getting in that space of you deserve it takes practice, but that's the submission. See, by me submitting to myself, I'm giving myself space to deserve the best of whatever that may look like. It could be an experience. It could be a person. It could be a book, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
I'm just, and being 61.
Yeah, she said 61, y'all. Y'all heard that? 61. Okay.
Thank you. Being 61, every now and then, like I have another funeral this week. I'm constantly in this space of, I ain't got that much time. Like, I just don't know when the sand is going to run out of the clock. Mm-hmm. So along with healing and deserving, I got to realize the clock is ticking, and none of us know when it's going to run out.
We don't. And we say, oh, they're older, but it's some of the younger folks. So they're leaving us out of here. So absolutely. We are really like, live every day as if it's your last, accept them green flags as if you'll never get another one, right? Like this green flag came today, the rest of the year, the rest of my life may be red flags. So let me enjoy this and let me celebrate this green flag, whatever that thing may be. It could be something as simple as he asked me, how was your work day? Tell me about your day.
Right.
How can I serve you today? And that's it. Versus, babe, I need you to do this. Can you go here? Can you pick this up? Can you do this for the kids? Woo, wait a minute. It's overwhelming, but you get accustomed to that, and that just becomes alive.
Absolutely. And I think for women, and I know we have men in our movement as well, that I say all the time that our anatomy is built to create, nurture, carry, feed, and support. Mm-hmm. And that's just how we're built.
Yeah.
Physically. And it doesn't diminish all that, but that was that season.
Yeah.
And so that season of me being the mom and parenting and stuff just doesn't look the same. Like my kids don't need me to like feed them and do that stuff. And now that was all I knew. Like literally, if you said, and they say that if you want to see how someone sees themselves, ask them. So you meet somebody named Sean. Hey, Sean, tell me, what do you do? And if the first thing they say is their position or their profession,
let's talk about it.
then that's how they see themselves. So when people used to say to me, so what do you do? I always said, I'm married and I have 2 kids and I teach.
Okay.
Like, where was I in that?
Yeah. So here's the thing. Knowing the difference between who you are and what you are is something that I used to teach on. I got it from my mentor. We did it. She had a empowerment class, and that was the question she asked. And everyone, who are you? Everybody raised their hand. I'm a this, I'm a that. I do this, I do that. And she's like, that's great. Like, oh, that's amazing. Who are you, right? And so what I've learned in that the process of healing is who I am actually enhance what I am, right? So when I'm no longer I'm always going to be a mother, but when my children are gone, grown, and doing their own thing, right? Does that take away from who I am? When I retire from LA County Sheriff's Department, does it take away from who I am? When I'm no longer a leader at the church, all of these things that I do, the titles, right? So if I was, those things were wiped away from me, does it water me down? No, because who I am is a woman of God, integrity, morals, values, which enhance all of those things that God has trusted me with, right? And not saying that I'm perfect, because I've dropped the ball on many occasions. However, the core of who I am, my integrity speaks so much louder than all of the list of things that you can say, oh, Tam is a this and Tam is a that. But I bet you will say, but her integrity, that integrity is cold as I don't know what. And that is that's one of my goals. My goal is to leave a legacy of integrity, regardless to what I do. So when COVID showed up, we couldn't go to church. I couldn't be a leader in the church. So now what? Right? Well, my daughters both left and went off to college. Okay. Now what? You know what I'm saying? So knowing who you are versus what you are is going to make all the difference in the world, which is a part of you submitting to yourself.
It is, totally. And that's what I'm saying, getting to know myself, because I was always, especially the profession as a teacher and being a veteran teacher and training teachers, like people always came to me. I was constantly giving and pouring and supporting. And I had a therapist tell me once, Tam, it said, you give as much as you do because that's what you need others to do for you. And more you talk about hitting me in the gut, I said, you're right. I do desire that. I do want that. And more importantly, I do deserve that.
You do.
And it doesn't stop me from doing it, but now I'm giving myself permission to like unplug. Like I literally, especially with my business, I can be in meetings from 9 to 9 easily. And then so now I'm starting to like carve out days and times where it's just my time. Yeah.
You said something, you said something that reminded me of, and I was going to tap into it. You said something that reminded, love languages. So you said, I
love learning.
You say you love learning, but just right now you also said that when you had to learn, that you were giving what it is that you wanted. Right.
Yes.
So when we talk about the dating, I'm kind of hopping back and forth.
That's cool.
But when we talk about dating and we share what our love languages are, or when we give or we speak love language, we normally speak our own love language until we learn their language. And sometimes we still speak our language because I want to show you an example of what it is that I want, what I like, right? And what I've learned is that we have to be bilingual. Just be bilingual. Speak your language and his language, right?
That's true.
Because in order for him to speak my language, to give me the things that I want, I desire, I require, he's got to be able to speak it, right? And then I also don't want us to get stuck on this is my love language and that's it. Because at 7 o'clock in the morning, I need you to rub my feet. I need you to rub my back. When I come home from work, I need you to help me pick these things. So it changed. It depends on the season, where we're at.
And here's the thing. I said once before when someone says, what's your love language? I said, all of them.
All of them. Because you're bilingual.
All of them. Yeah. I never even thought about it. I guess I'm quadlingual. Yeah. There's such a thing. I don't even know how many there are, but I don't think, you may value one maybe a little bit more.
For sure.
But I want all of them.
I want them all. And they all come in at different times, right? So what does that say? I mean, you got to get to know me. You have to know when to speak. Let's just say you have to know when to speak Spanish. When in Rome, do as the Romans. When we in Mexico, let's speak Spanish. You know what I'm saying?
Let's get it done.
Let's get it done.
Right.
But I'm not gonna be in Mexico forever. I'm not gonna be in Rome forever. So when I come from Rome, I need you to speak the language that they speak there. The dialect has to change.
That's true.
And so when we look at it like that, we don't stop putting ourselves in a box and getting disappointed because the man or the woman is going to speak what you said your love language is. I love you. I want to make you happy. I want to please you. I want to serve you. Oh, your love language is education. You want me to educate you? Sure. Let's have the conversation. That's my primary love language.
Right.
All this other stuff right here is a byproduct. I still need those things. Like, don't think that you should not do the other stuff.
It is a smorgasbord. I want all of that.
I want it all. And I'm going to give it all.
Oh, that's the thing. Like, I can ask for a lot because I know I can deliver it. Like, I'm a master at being multifaceted and being able to be lots of things at different times for different people, for different circumstances. I got that down pat. Are they giving degrees for that?
What'd you say? What'd you say? Because I need one. I
need it, deserve it, and can do it.
Most definitely. Yes. No, I am so excited that you are submitting to yourself.
I am.
What is so far? Because, this is an ever-evolving thing. What is the thing that stands out for you most that you've submitted to for yourself since you've gotten divorced?
That's hard because it's a few, but I go what comes to mind first.
Okay.
And it would probably be my voice. Submitting to using my voice.
Okay.
Yeah, because in the scenarios of my past, my voice wasn't received. And I didn't understand. I thought it was me. And I'd learned a lot about the dynamics of how people communicate or not, and how they even mitigate and navigate perhaps not being able to do that. And so I just diminished my voice. And that people find that really unusual and shocking because I come off so confident, and I am. But in interpersonal relationships, I have a voice, anything professional.
Got you.
But that's been the best thing, is submitting to the fact that, Carole, you have a voice, you have an opinion, you can give it, you can share it, and it doesn't, like, I always give this example. If I have 5 rooms in my house and I put a candle in each room, I light that candle, light that candle, light that candle. None of the candles are going to burn any less because I lit another candle. And so that I can be all of these candles.
Yeah.
And one burning doesn't make one less bright. And I always felt that if my voice wasn't really received, then I just couldn't try to light it in another scenario.
That's good.
And so that's been a big win for me.
That's good. That's really good. And yeah, we need to know that our voice, it does matter. And use it. But a lot of times we have to learn how to use it.
That's true. And I understand that some of it's situational. You do have to have a good friend that said, not only do you need to know how to read the room, but you need to know how to read the results.
That's good.
And I'd never thought about that till she taught me that. And so I do that. I have to do a lot in my business anyway, but in interpersonal relationships, for sure, I can state a concern, a desire, a goal, a need, a value. And I like how Ayana Van Sant said, it's my job to see how you react to that and choose if I want to participate.
Yeah. When she said that, I said
that. Right, exactly.
For sure. Like, I'm not telling you not to respond that way.
No.
But I have to ask myself, do I even have the space, capacity, will, or desire to participate in that? And if it's no, then it's no. It's not a bad thing.
No, it's not. It's just accepting for it. And that's the other thing too. I think I saw everything is like black and white. It was just black and white. I mean, think about it, in education. It's like good behavior, bad behavior. You pass or you don't.
True.
School starts and it ends. And it's not like that. Not in this space. So I always tell people, like when I've told people that I'm like in this movement with you and I've committed to it, and they'll say, well, what does that mean? It means that there is life
Mm-hmm.
after divorce.
Yeah.
And I want to remove the stigma
Yeah.
of that divorce is a bad thing. It's like,
Yes.
and I've given this example before. We got summer, spring, winter, fall.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When that season's over, we
Mhm.
move to the next season.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean that season is not good, doesn't have any value.
Right.
And in this season of my life, it needs to be honored
Yes.
and, taken care of,
Right.
whatever that looks like. It's just another season. And then we change all the time.
We do.
We change all the time. And the change should be honored.
Mm-hmm.
I want to celebrate it. I want to honor it. And I just never had that space before. If I hadn't submitted to myself, and getting here was no cakewalk.
You have to fight for it, huh? Push through some things.
The hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. And I think people make assumptions. And if I could do just one broadcast.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, maybe two, I don't know, was ran into someone who didn't know my current marital status. And the first thing she said, and you may know what I'm about to say, she said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." Drives me nuts.
Yeah.
When someone says to you, I'm talking to y'all, that they're divorced or they're going through divorce, do not act like their puppy just died. There is too many unknown variables to the scenario, the lives, the feelings, the emotions. What my takeaway, like if I met you for the first time and I said, "Hey, Tam, what's going on?" "Well, I'm going through divorce." As I say all the time, "Sis, you okay?"
Mm-hmm.
That's all I care about.
That's it.
That's it. So put that on a billboard, a T-shirt,
hashtag it,
whatever. Just don't tell people, "Oh, I'm so sorry." It's like nobody died. It's just,
yeah.
Just check
and
on the person.
And it's not always it's not always, oh me, oh my, woe it's me. It's not always that situation.
It's not.
Some folks are, like, okay, this is good. I have to process through this. I
Absolutely.
am not depressed or stressed out. It comes with it ebbs and flows. It has good and bad. It has ups and downs, right?
And think about it. If I say, "Sis, are you okay?" Mm-hmm. Now that's the gateway for you to say,
"Yeah,
I'm really sad," or whatever.
Yeah.
Then if you need to give some empathy and sympathy, do it. But wait until that message has been formulated for you. Don't be assumptive.
And so what I've learned also is that people do not know how to support.
True.
They don't know what to say.
True.
They don't know what to say. It's like,
that's true.
One thing I can say is a friend of mine. Her name is. It doesn't matter. A friend of mine. Mm-hmm. Her son died, and I didn't know how to support that. I just So instead of really sharing words, because I didn't know what to say, I stayed away. Right? I gave the silent treatment, which hurt her more than anything.
I know.
And so people will do that in any loss, especially those who are married and you're going through a divorce and they have all of these things they want to share with you, like, girl, Tony did, or Anthony did, or whoever did these things about their marriage, but then they feel like, oh, don't share that.
Right.
And so you have to know the person, right? If you know the person, like for me, I'm going to celebrate with you. I'm going to celebrate you regardless to what I'm going through. But I do know some folks that's like, I do not want to hear that. That is so depressing because I no longer have, and I get it. It makes sense. So folks will not share. They will not talk about, they won't come around, because they don't know how to support your life after divorce. That's a whole topic.
That's a whole topic, because I have strategically been uninvited places because I'm no longer married. I'm not part of a couple. And they saw me in that light, which is so okay.
Right.
It's so okay. That means more time for me to take myself out.
I'm okay. Yeah.
Maybe I'll go to the gym, take myself to dinner. Like, I can go do something else. But and I understand it's because people don't know what to do with that.
Yeah.
Which is why, again, this movement is so important.
Right.
It extends beyond the participants.
Yeah.
I mean, we as the participants, to me, are the biggest gatekeepers here.
Sure.
But for sure, it's like letting the whole, it's okay. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay.
Right. So definitely, I love that you said that. It does branch out, reach out to other other folks other than the participants, your children. So we're gonna do a show with my kids. They were co-authors in my second book, Life After the D. And they all shared what they were currently feeling when we shared with them, like, Mom and Dad, we're about to get a divorce or we're separating. And I want to talk about where you're now. How did that affect you? You know, all these years later, did it have any, which I know it did, you know, did it have any effect on you? And if you could talk to the 14-year-old, the 12-year-old, the 17-year-old that you were at the time when you went through that, what would you say today? Like, I want to know, because we do not talk to our children, because so many people will say, you know, kids are resilient, they'll bounce back. And while that may be true, so are we. But guess what happened? The trauma, it found us somewhere down the line in our adult lives. And we're like, wait, what happened? Right? So there's so many avenues to this thing called life after divorce. That's just a bubble. But it's almost like McDonald's has a whole lot of things on their menu. So does life after divorce. There's so many things that we can tell. Maybe I don't work out the way that I used to when I was married. Or maybe I don't, whatever the thing is, because it's different for everyone. But our goal is to share and say that there is life after divorce, and we have to live it loud. And living it loud, I'm not saying like the octaves of your voice goes up or you get loud. I'm not saying that. I mean, like, unapologetic.
That's
give yourself permission to feel what you feel. Today you may be like, girl, let's put our black dress on, let's go, let's get it. And then tomorrow you may be like, dang, because I know my daughter, my baby girl, when she was looking for college, when we were going, you know, taking her to different campuses, we went to Arizona, and I was good, right? It was just she and I. But when we got there, I remembered conversations that my ex-husband and I had. When she get ready, when she leave, we're gonna be empty nesters, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. Like, that came back to me, and I was like, I had a moment in the hotel room, you know, and it was a couple of years later. But what you said, grief, it comes and goes.
And it'll show up unexpectedly, like a bad stomach ache. You know, it can be songs. It can be, and we don't even talk about holidays.
Holidays are the hardest days. I always say that.
It's amazing. And giving yourself permission to, like, even choose not to participate.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what I mean by submission.
Yeah.
And, you know, for me, that was really, really, really difficult, because, you know, I took so much ownership and everybody and everything being okay. And it's like, well, now what will Thanksgiving look like? What will Christmas look like? What is all? And that's different.
It is.
It's different. And I do appreciate it. I feel like, you know, social media is a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
There's some good and there's some not so great stuff. But I have found that there's, around the holiday times, just like Mother's Day is impending, and not everybody's mom, like mine lost my mom years ago.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's more of an awareness.
Yeah.
And to me, I hope an awareness brings, you can acknowledge the feelings and just give some empathy.
Yeah.
I just think that's really important, because we don't talk about that stuff.
Absolutely.
We don't talk about a lot of stuff.
We sure don't, because everybody just want to push through, override, make it seem like all is well, and go.
Yeah.
That's not the case.
And that's not. No.
You talked about holidays, and so and I talked about children. So it reminds me, your children were adults.
Yes, they were adults.
Now, do you think it affected them the way that it would affect younger children?
Great question. I had told myself for years that I'll wait till they're older, because they'll be okay. There's some truth to that, but not a lot. It's not like a panacea. Well, they're grown now, so they're good. Absolutely not. No, we did family therapy together, the three of us, because it was super important to me, and I wanted them to not be conflicted between, because their father will always be their father. I will always be there. That doesn't change.
Right.
It's just being able to get feelings out. And I was okay with them being mad or angry, and like whatever their feelings were for me, towards me.
Right.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Because the paradox is that, and I know I'm not the only woman that, you know, said, well, I'm going to stay in this marriage for the sake of the children. I mean, that's, we do that all day long and twice on Sundays.
Yes. Especially on Sundays.
Especially on Sundays.
The church is telling them.
Oh, that's another conversation too. But the paradox is, no matter when you do it, people are going to get hurt.
No matter when.
And if someone had told me, which is why I'm really committed to this, is that had Carole Hart sat on a podcast and told me this years ago, it would look a little bit different.
Yes.
But that's okay. So
is.
I'm here now, and I want to just be that voice that it's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was real paradox, is that I figured that because they were grown, it would be easier. And
yeah.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. Absolutely. I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
My children were not adults. So I was just wondering, like, was that still, but you're sharing that you all went to family therapy. So I think that's dope too.
Oh, it was really dope. And it was, and this is the thing, is like, I think I told myself in my head, they're okay. But when I realized they weren't okay, and I offered them family therapy, Tam, you would have thought I offered to buy them a new Rolls Royce. They were so excited.
Oh, wow.
They were so excited. I said, hey, you guys think we should, do some therapy? And they were like, my God, yeah, Ma, I would love that. I'm like, okay. And then we did it, and here we are.
I love it. Yeah. Great. Well, I am so honored once again to sit with you and to share with you.
Let's do it again.
Of course. This is not the end.
Y'all come back and see us again?
This was fun. And very good dialogue. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being transparent.
Absolutely.
There's so much more to come for us to talk about. I can't wait till we all sit together and do,
You and let me just say this. Love language isn't just for interpersonal romantic relationships.
Yeah.
So you speak my love language to me. Oh. And like, I love how she says lock arms. That's just so dope. And so when I was watching you walk in your power at that first conference at the meet and greet, and I was like, this sister here, she on to something.
Wow.
And I want to be part of this. I didn't even know.
Wow.
All of it. I just knew that you were speaking my love language. You were truthful. You were honest. You were committed. You were cute. That don't hurt. And I was like, wow, there's actually a forum and a space for this. She can make me better. She can help me heal. Wow. And everybody else in that room that clearly you brought together were, I'm assuming it's not like you went and, you handpick people.
Right.
I think the energy, I think the very first person that helped me move into this space said to me, Carole, if you vibrate at a certain level, every and anything that you need will attract to that. If you're down here, that's what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And when you're up here, that's what you get.
Right.
And so the minute I was able to be in that space, everything about my life elevated. Like everything.
I love it. Oh,
and so you're part of that. So thank you for speaking.
Glory, girl. It's not just me. I promise you.
I know.
There are some days.
I'm
like,
that's okay.
You sure got me. Thank you. Thank you. I need that. It's important for me to know that.
Oh, girl, yeah.
What I'm giving, like what I'm throwing out, people are picking up sometimes, And I know everybody is not my audience.
Right. Well,
I get that.
And that's okay. I mean, like, not we all are going to eat sushi.
Right.
It doesn't mean sushi's bad.
Right.
It's just not what I want to have.
Absolutely.
And that's okay.
It is.
So you invite me back.
Yes, definitely. I know you will. You are one of my biggest supporters and one of the biggest supporters of the movement. Not my biggest, but one of the biggest supporters of the movement.
I am.
And I do not take that lightly. I am appreciative and grateful that you have entered into this space with us so that we can continue to build, grow, live life loud on purpose. You guys, thank you so much for joining us. We are going to have this live up. Well, you guys are going to get it. You're probably getting it now. I'm talking about you're going to get it live. We're just grateful. I'm happy, and I cannot wait for you to just continue to experience the things that Life After Divorce and Make It Rise has in store for you. It gets bigger and better, you guys. Remember, there is life after divorce. Let's live it loud.
It's a whole lot of life.
Bye, you guys.